Seen from above, Rangoon, the former capital of the Southeast Asian Myanmar, looks like a modern metropolis. Only a closer look reveals the traces of an ancient colony of the British Empire called Burma, which was taken over by a cruel military dictatorship for nearly half a century. One of its first victims had been General Aung San, the father of famous Nobel Prize winner Aung San Sukyi, who was immediately toppled after having been elected president in 1990. But it took another 25 years till, under the pressure of a generalized rebellion of the Buddhist monks and the United Nations, a sort of a democracy was achieved. Although the enormous social differences still persist, life has reappeared due to the development project of big corporations. This is admitted also by Yu Pei-kao, one of the figureheads of the monks' rebellion, who openly admits his sympathies for Aung San Sukyi. This shows also in Loikor, the capital of the state of Kayah, where the big majority of the population are Karenni, an indigenous minority in the northeast. In these, till recently inaccessible territories, most natives are Buddhists or believers of natural religions. A few are Muslims. More than 1/3 of the population, however, have integrated the Catholic Church, a very rare phenomenon by Asian standards. On Sundays, they visit either the cathedral or some of the other 200 churches in the area.
We are more free now. We're more free, the people are free. We can move here and there, we can talk freely. And in dealing with our government, our San Sukyi government, I must say, and ladies, we are more peaceful, more safe.
How did you manage in such a short time to missionize the people in Karenni state?
That we have the little evangelizers, which we call them. And they are just, we send them to the villages to stay as they are. They don't know the villages, they don't know Catholicism at all. But they just stay like a people, they eat like them, just witness Christ in their faith. No?
In order to get acquainted with the countryside, Father Francis So, a Karenni priest in charge of communication, takes the lead.
We are heading to Sandu village. It was from Loikor. It was far from 45 kilometers. About 70% are Catholic and 30% are traditional believers.
At the entrance of Sandu village, there is a statue of Saint Mary Magdalena. Many women wear spirals of brass around their necks, a symbol of wealth and pride. Others are waiting patiently before the church filled up to the last seat. Father Francis welcomes us.
You are most welcome to our poor village and our mountain, beautiful, lovely village.
Some of the donations the children are bringing along come from families who themselves have not enough to eat. On the other hand, the Karenni are rich in the art of preserving their own culture.
Why?
The people are visibly relieved about the fact that the war has come to an end, and they manifested their gratitude to the Lord in their own way.
Once a year, they have to offer that particular spirit with a post, a tree, The strict one to the heaven. It means that they are connected with human being, are connected with the upper being, the highest being.
With a traditional procession, the community of Sando village wished goodbye to the first foreigners many of them saw in their lives. They seem so peaceful, like the landscape which surrounds them. But behind the scene, we discovered another reality when Father Francis led us to the ancient battlegrounds.
They are very afraid of this checkpoint, and they avoid the checkpoint, and they go around to the other side, not to pass this way.
Because what could happen at the checkpoint?
If
Well-
they wake up, they will take the actions and they will put into jail.
Today, nobody notices anymore that until a few years ago, a ferocious war between the military and the Karenni rebels had happened, hidden from the international public opinion. Few people know even that now this war continues in many of the neighboring ethnic states of Myanmar.
We travel by walk and we come here with many deserting. The government army are there and were there and they attack us if they saw us, and we need to face with them.
And even now, the government cares very little about public health in the former war zones. That's why a network of so-called mobile clinics has been constituted with the support of an Austrian Catholic NGO called Dreikönigsaktion. Presently, they are building a training center for the local healthcare activists under the supervision of the director of the refugee clinics in Thailand. The area of the Karenni state is relatively peaceful now. This is very much due to the wisdom and skill of ancient Bishop Sotero Famo, who many times had negotiated with the military until a ceasefire took place 4 years ago.
We have no problem unless we try to be noisy, provoking our faith and make conversion. Otherwise, we keep quiet, peaceful, especially Catholics. We preach, we do not get married, no children, so we are similar to Buddhists, so they are more tolerant with us.
That's how the Catholic Church of Myanmar has managed, especially in the ethnic territories, to ferment an intercultural understanding between the different religions and political fronts.